Hello everyone. So it's no secret, unless you haven't watched my videos previous to this, hi by the way if you're new here, but if you've seen my videos before, you know that I love to travel. So I've been to at least 30 of the 50 states. I did a video on this several years ago about what states I've been to. I've added more since that video was made, but I don't include states that I've been to if I've just driven through them or if I've been in a layover in an airport. I need to actually do something in the state in order to make it count. Now most of the time my travels take me to the train tracks. There are exceptions to that rule, and you've seen exceptions to that rule, but most of the time when I travel, it's to go and see trains. Now, while it may be new for you to hear that, going places to just see trains, I'm pretty sure a lot of you have heard of the concept of a ghost town, or a place that used to be a town, but the people have since left and just left whatever was there behind. Believe it or not, a lot of ghost towns are, or at least were very close to the train tracks because they were built around the railroad. Now, as time went on, bigger cities developed, some stuck better than others, and the ones that didn't stick very well, the people would leave them and go to the bigger cities, hence creating these ghost towns. Now, with that being said, I have been to many different places in this country that many people may think or may describe as being ghost towns. I've compiled a list of 5 of these very small towns, or ghost towns, semi-ghost towns we'll call them in this case, and I'm sure a lot of these will be places that you have never heard of. Now, some of you watching may have heard of these places, some of you may have even been to some of these places, but I can assure you that a lot of you watching haven't. So I'm going to share with you this list of 5 semi-ghost towns, or just at least 5 places that you've probably never heard of. By the way, if you search all of these on Google Maps, you will be able to see them. They are legitimate places. So here we go. Number 1, Edelstein, Illinois. Edelstein is located in southwestern Illinois in Peoria County, about 17 miles north of Peoria. The ATSF, or the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad, built their main line from Chicago to Los Angeles through this town at the turn of the 20th century. And the line is still heavily used today. I was in Edelstein for the first time several weeks ago when I was out in Illinois. Number 2, Mexico, Pennsylvania. Now, Mexico, Pennsylvania, at least according to Wikipedia, is a census-designated place. It's not actually a real borough. It's just a location in Juniata County, Pennsylvania, about 30 miles west of Harrisburg. There's not really much for me to say about this place, except that it is my favorite place to watch trains in Pennsylvania. Very quiet, very peaceful, and just a really nice place to just sit back and relax. Number 3, Lombard, Montana. Now, this is the first actual ghost town on the list. Lombard is located in Broadwater County, Montana, and used to be an interchange point between the Montana Railroad and the Northern Pacific Railroad. The Montana Railroad eventually became part of the Milwaukee Road, which built their Pacific extension out through that area. It was abandoned in the early 1980s, and because of that, Lombard ceased to be a town, and it is now no longer inhabited by anyone. Though there are many photographs of trains still to this day that are taken in Lombard. Today, the Montana Rail Link operates the former Northern Pacific main line through Lombard. Number 4, Thurman, West Virginia. Now, this isn't really technically a ghost town, but when you have a population of less than 10 people, Thurman, West Virginia is located in Fayette County, West Virginia, very close to the town of Beckley, and in its heyday, it was a pretty big, important town along the Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad. I mean, it rivaled cities like Richmond and Cincinnati. But sadly, as the demand for coal started to decrease, Thurman also started to decrease. And as I mentioned earlier, the population, at least in the 2010 census, was 5 people. Today, most of that area around Thurman is owned by the National Park Service. There's an Amtrak station that Amtrak still stops at. CSX Transportation now operates the main railroad through there. Number 5, Belmont, Nebraska. This is the last town on the list. This is a semi-ghost town, meaning there are still some individuals that live there, kind of like Thurman. But the town is located in Dawes County, Nebraska, the extreme northwestern corner of Nebraska, very close to, what is up there, Wyoming area, I think. It's about 11 miles southeast of the town of Crawford and exists solely because of the railroad. The Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy Railroad built a rail line through the area in the late 19th century, and they needed a tunnel constructed so the people who built the tunnel would live in Belmont. But as time went on, the Depression hit and people started leaving and going elsewhere. Now there's maybe a few residents that still live there, but is really just a semi-ghost town now. The tunnel was even bypassed many years ago as well. Also, one little note, that was the location of the only railroad tunnel in the state of Nebraska. So those are 5 places in this country you've probably never heard of. Maybe some of you have, but I really hope you enjoyed listening or learning about these places. 2 really quick things. When Dana and I were out at VidCon, I had the fantastic opportunity to share a story of how I found this wonderful online YouTube community with a group of people called the Road to Nerdfighteria. It's basically a story about how I found this community through John and Hank Green. I will link to that at the end of this video so you can go and watch that. Also, I have a very exciting announcement that I want to share with all of you in the next coming weeks. I'm sure you'll be happy with it. It concerns the fall and extra content. So we'll leave it at that. But thank you for watching, God bless, and I will see you next week.